Avoiding conflict may feel like the safer path, but for many professionals, it's costing them more than they know. Peace of mind, team trust, and even personal growth. Roughly half of the clients that I work with have an issue with conflict avoidance. They spend significant emotional energy beating around the bush and tolerating unhealthy or unproductive behavior. As the saying goes, you get what you're willing to put up with. Over time, this avoidance becomes a silent source of stress, anxiety, and even resentment. Conflict involving a peer or a subordinate is challenge enough, but when it's with a superior, it can be downright scary. A pivotal day early in my 30-year career as a security trader was when I stood up to our top salesman in a moment that could have cost me my job. Now, it wound up going well, but thereafter I had a new freedom every day. That experience enabled me to regularly have the courage to fearlessly do the right thing in a respectful way and then to move forward. If you're a leader who avoids dealing with poor performance or even toxic behavior, your team will suffer and resent you for it. Your silence sends the message that you care more about your own comfort than how your team is doing. That kind of avoidance kills morale and erodes trust. A quote in this area is by Cheryl Richardson that says, "If you avoid conflict to keep the peace, you start a war inside yourself." Most people only make a change when the pain of staying the same outweighs the perceived pain of change. Now, notice I said perceived pain because it's almost always less than we imagine. Ask yourself, would you rather deal with 5 minutes of uncomfortable conversation now or years of low-grade frustration and emotional pain? I'd go for 5 minutes now. Here's the bottom line. Conflict avoidance keeps everybody uncomfortable except the person causing the issue. So what can you do about it? Let's get practical. Here's the first 5 of 10 ways to overcome conflict avoidance and to lead with confidence. Whether you're managing a team, working with difficult colleagues, or navigating tense family dynamics, these steps will help you move forward. So number 1, know who you are. A grounded identity reduces your emotional vulnerability, especially in conflict. As Jamie Winship says, a person with a healthy identity cannot be bullied. When you're secure in who you are, you're less reactive and more focused on resolving the issue, not on defending your ego. So number 2, set the conversation in motion. Avoiding the conversation just prolongs the problem. Make an appointment to discuss the issue. This gives you time to cool off if you need it and prepare your thoughts as well. It also helps the other person to understand that the coming meeting should be taken seriously. Number 3, start with affirmation. Open the conversation by acknowledging what you appreciate about that person. It helps to reduce their defensiveness and shows that the relationship matters to you. Number 4, start the conversation with "perhaps you didn't know." This opens the door for dialogue without accusing. Maybe they didn't really know, but even if they did, it gives them a chance to save face and agree with you from the very start. And then number 5, focus on behavior, not the person. Speak to specific actions, not character traits. You're aiming for growth, not shame. Keep the focus on what needs to change and not on who they are. So this is the first 5 of 10 ways to conquer conflict avoidance. That's part 1. Part 2 is coming. Don't let fear run the show in your relationships. Silence rarely solves anything. Avoiding conflict may feel like keeping the peace, but in reality, it often leads to quiet resentment and prolonged dysfunction. So let's make this practical. Take one situation you've been avoiding and choose one of the 5 steps that I've just listed. Small steps create momentum. What's one thing that you've learned to address conflicts successfully in your career? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Be sure to look for part 2 coming up.